Okay, we're going to work a problem on binomial distributions, and I wanted to go over the characteristics of a binomial distribution just to make sure you understand how to identify one. First of all, there should be a fixed number of trials, and each trial should only have two outcomes. So remember, binomial means like bicycle means two, so there's two outcomes. And the probability of, the two outcomes are either a success or a failure. The probability of a success, which is P, and failure, which is Q, they're going to be constant throughout the experiment, and each trial is independent of the other trials. So here is the formula for a binomial distribution. And so the first thing I always do is identify N, X, P, and Q. So let's look at a problem. So according to the Mortgage Banker Association, 11% of mortgages were delinquent in Texas in the second quarter of last year. A delinquent mortgage is one that has missed at least one payment but not yet gone to foreclosure. A random sample of 6 mortgages in Texas was selected. What is the probability that exactly one of these mortgages is delinquent? So let's look at that. N is going to be the number, the sample size. So we know that that is 6. X is the number of successes. Here we want to know the probability of one of the mortgages is delinquent. So the success here is the delinquency. So the probability of the delinquency is 0.11. So I always use the probability given to me as P, and then the probability of failure is the 1 minus P, because they have to add up to 1. So 0.89 and 0.11 add up to 1. So you could just subtract there. Now, if you can figure out that this is a binomial distribution, and you can figure out what N, X, P, and Q are, then you're set. Because now all we have to do is plug in. We know that our success is the probability of 1 success out of a sample size of 6. N factorial would be 6 factorial, and then N minus X factorial 1. I'm just plugging in. We know that P is 0.11 to the X power, which would be 1, and Q is 0.89, and N minus X would be 6 minus 1. So let's simplify this. So remember how we talked about this in the Zoom session. You go down to what the bottom number is. We get 5. 6 minus 1 is 5. So you go to 5 to get those to cancel. And then 1 factorial is just 1. Anything divided by 1 is going to be that number. Okay, so let's get our answer. We're going to do 6 times 0.11 to the first, let me use parentheses, times 0.89 to the fifth. So if you put that in your calculator, you will get we're going to round to the 4th decimal place. You will get 0.36 8, 5 as your probability. So the probability that exactly one of these mortgages is delinquent, it's about a 37% chance that one of these mortgages are going to be delinquent. So that is a simple binomial distribution calculation.